Welcome to Your Dose of Wowness. Today, we're diving into one of the most chilling, cold cases in history, all through the lens of the codes he left behind, the Zodiac Killer's ciphers. Imagine opening the newspaper in the summer of '69 and seeing that. A letter from a killer sent to 3 different papers. And he had a demand: publish my coded message on your front page, or I'm gonna go on a killing rampage. Okay, we're about to get deep into the codes, but first, we have to stop. Before we look at a single one of his puzzles, we have to remember the people. Because this isn't just some brain teaser, right? It's a hunt for justice, for real lives that were stolen. So let's go back to the very beginning. December 20th, 1968. David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, just 17 and 16 years old. They were on their first date, parked out on a remote lover's lane. He just walked up and shot them. They were just kids. There was no reason. This is where the horror starts. And this right here, this is the key to understanding who the Zodiac was. He didn't just want to kill, he wanted an audience. The whole thing, the letters, the phone calls, the codes, it was all a sick performance. Can you imagine being a family member and having to see his taunts splashed all over the front page for years? That public cruelty is really the dark heart of this entire case. So, with that in mind, let's look at the challenge he threw down. He sent out 4 distinct ciphers, 4 puzzles that were literally life and death, daring the police, the press, anyone to try and find him. Here they are, the 4 big ones. You got the Z4A0, the Z340, and then 2 shorter ones, Z13 and Z32. But the really wild part is that status column. See it? Solved, solved, unsolved, unsolved. That first one, though, man, it gave everyone a completely false sense of how this game was going to be played. Get this, the very first cipher, the Z408, was cracked in just 1 week. A single week. And not by the FBI or the NSA. It was solved by Donald and Betty Hardin, a school teacher and his wife, working it out at their kitchen table. It was this huge, stunning victory. And then, the Z340 arrived. And for the next 51 years, just silence. A deep, frustrating silence. That silence was finally broken in December of 2020. And let me tell you, the story of how a cipher that stumped the best codebreakers in the world for half a century was solved by 3 private citizens is just, it's the incredible centerpiece of this whole mystery. And the team that did it, they weren't some secret government agency. They were an international group of amateurs. David Oranchak, a software developer from Virginia, Jarl van Eyck, a programmer in Belgium, and Sam Blake, a mathematician from Australia. Just 3 guys, connected by the internet, totally obsessed with solving the impossible. So how'd they do it? Well, their big idea was brilliant. For 51 years, everyone assumed it was a simple substitution cipher. 1 symbol equals 1 letter. But that was the trap. This team realized, what if it's not about substituting letters? What if the letters are all correct, but they're just completely scrambled? They figured out you couldn't read it left to right. No, the Zodiac read the symbols in this bizarre diagonal pattern. So they wrote software to test thousands of these weird reading paths, and eventually, one of them just clicked. And after all that time, after half a century of work, this is what it said. That chilling taunt, "I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me." And then he says he's not afraid of dying because it'll send him to paradise. Notice the misspelling? That was his signature. The FBI confirmed it. This was him. I mean, what a breakthrough, right? A 51-year-old mystery solved. But the one thing everyone was hoping for, the one piece of information that actually mattered, he deliberately left it out. Which brings us to the 2 ciphers that are still unsolved today, and specifically to the one that holds the most tantalizing promise a killer has ever made. This is it. A postcard he mailed in April 1970. It couldn't be more direct. "My name is," followed by those 13 symbols. The promise was laid out right there. Solve this, and you have me. As of 2026, those 13 little symbols have kept their secret locked away for 56 years. And don't think for a second this is just some old, dusty case file. This is happening now. If he was, say, 25 back then, he could still be alive today, in his early 80s. Investigators have a partial DNA profile from his letters, and with genealogical DNA, the same tech that caught the Golden State Killer, an ID is absolutely possible. The computer programs that cracked the Z340 are being thrown at this puzzle as we speak. This is not a cold case. It is a live puzzle, and the clock is ticking. So this all boils down to one final, central question, the one that those 13 symbols force us all to ask. So what do you think? Is Z13 a real, solvable cipher with his actual name sitting there, waiting all these years for someone to find the right key? Or is it just 13 random scribbles, the ultimate taunt from a killer who knew the promise of his name would be enough to keep us all obsessed with him forever?
Is it a genuine cipher, or is it the ultimate taunt? I really want to hear what you think. Drop your answer below.
And that's it for day 31. Thank you for being here 31 days in, genuinely. And hey, do me a favor, step outside for just 5 minutes after this. Get some fresh air. It'll do more for your brain than another coffee, I promise you. Your brain will thank you for it. We are back tomorrow with an absolute classic, The Disappearance of Amelia Earhart. See you then.